Okay, YouTube, you win. I've got a tips and tricks video for you here today. A little do's and don'ts video for you pragmatic folks, because unfortunately to survive on YouTube, sometimes you just gotta bend over and let everyone. Anyway, it's hard to paint the entire country with the same brush, but the information I'm gonna give you is basically like blanket advice for the entire country. So if you watch this video, you'll be pretty well armed with anything you need to know to go pretty much anywhere in Portugal. Well, let's not waste any time, shall we? Because on top of being pragmatic, you have a short attention span. So first on the list is the people and the culture. They're very super friendly people. They're quite reserved. At first, you might think that they don't like you, but that's not the case at all. Actually, as soon as you start talking to them, they're extremely friendly. But they're not gonna spare your feelings. They'll help you with whatever you need help with. They're super artistic. They're a lively folk. They're crepuscular, maybe even nocturnal. They like to do things late at night or when the sun is down, and I don't blame them because that's when all the best shit happens anyway. I've seen a lot of places on the internet say that they eat very late, like beyond 10 o'clock. Honestly, that hasn't been my experience at all. If you want to eat at 5 or 6 p.m., it still seems to be quite easy to do that. A lot of restaurants do open at 7 p.m., but it works out with the time change. Like we came from Toronto, and so that works out perfectly for us. What's next here? The language. They speak Portuguese, obviously. And did you know, this is a very interesting thing, did you know that Portuguese, the language, used to be used only for lyrics and poetry? Oh, hang on a sec. That's a story. That's way too interesting for this video. If you want to see something about that, just watch any of our other videos. They're way better than this one. Go and watch those. Okay, up next, weather and the best time to travel. Well, let's just wait till this guy's finished ruining the video. All right, let's try this again. Spring and fall is apparently the best time to travel according to the internet. We're here in November and I think it's perfect. Summer is peak tourism season and I can't imagine enjoying myself if it was any busier than it is now. So my recommendation is go in the spring and fall, like early spring and late fall even. This is the end of November. It's actually almost December. The weather is amazing. You can walk around everywhere. Everything's still open. There's just enough tourism so you're not alone. It's not quiet. But there's little enough tourism that you're not losing your goddamn mind. All right, I moved. Because on top of being pragmatic and having a short attention span, I know that you YouTube watchers love a change of scenery, so that's what we've done here. Okay, the food. Not overly spicy, but very delicious. Just close your eyes and eat absolutely everything. It's a very protein-centric place to be. There's a lot of meats. You can definitely find vegetarian dishes, but they're just, I'm sorry, but they're just not going to be as good as the meats. The meats here are fantastic. There is an unreasonable amount of bars and places to eat here. I don't know how they're all staying open, frankly, but you will not have any shortage of finding food any time of day. Try, you know what, watch a different video. Watch one of our other videos if you really want to get into the food part of the thing. But just know that you can just close your eyes and eat absolutely everything here. What's next? The water quality. The water quality is good. They have to adhere to the European standard of tap water, which means you can drink water straight out of the tap. And that's exactly what we've been doing. We bought one plastic bottle when we first got here because we forgot our reusable bottles, and we've just been reusing it, refilling it in taps. We've been asking our waiters to refill it in the kitchen, and it's been fine. I don't feel sick. It's delicious water. It's kind of like Canadian water, but not quite as good because we're Canada. We have all the water in the world, but it's just as good. It's the European standard of tap water. It's not going to make you sick. You can drink it, you can brush your teeth with it, you can shower in it, you're all good to go. Save the planet. Don't be buying bottles of water every time. Even that one bottle we bought, I feel a little bit guilty because now that one plastic bottle that we have, my great grandkids will be able to track down that bottle and hold it up, and by then they'll probably just be floating in an ocean of plastic bottles, and they'll look up to the heavens and they'll go, was it good? Was it delicious? Anyway, bring a reusable bottle. Just fill it at taps. You'll be fine. You'll survive. Toilet etiquette. Yes, you can flush your toilet paper in most places. If you can't, there will be a sign, but I haven't seen one of those signs. What's next? The money. It's euros. You can use plastic, no problem at all. Credit cards. You should just check online at the time you're leaving as to which ATM is best to use. We've had no problem using credit card. We're using a MasterCard, and we also have a Visa, and they both work totally fine. Other than that, if you want to pay cash, then it's all euros. And yes, we know your money's better than ours. Okay, yeah, the euro, oh, it's so valuable. Okay, we get it. We get it. The Canadian exchange rate to euros is absolute shit right now. And that hurts a little bit, but that doesn't change the fact that that's what they take. They take euros and they take plastic. Let's see. The cost of amenities, that changes depending on the region you're in. Here in Lisbon, it's obscenely expensive for a night stay. Try not to use an Airbnb. The locals fucking hate Airbnb, kind of like everyone all over the world. It's driving up the prices of rent. It's kind of really screwing over the people in Lisbon, so try not to stay in one, okay? Try to find something more locally acceptable to the people and stay in one of those, or stay in a hotel or a hostel or something like that. Something that puts money back into the economy and doesn't jack the prices for the locals. Yeah, I moved again. I did that for you, not for me. Anyway, okay, what's next? Luggage type. You can bring any type of luggage you want here. You can bring the big rolly ones, the little rolly ones. You can bring a backpack. I recommend you bring a backpack because it's all cobblestone streets here and a ton of hills. And you don't want to be like clacking their stupid little rolly bag up these gigantic hills. You just won't have as good of a time. If you're able to carry it all on your back, that's definitely the way to go, by far. And in general, just why would you want to draw attention to yourself? It'll be so noisy with the wheels on the cobblestones, just down the street, just announcing to the world that you are a tourist and all of your valuable possessions are in a nice little package that's easy to steal. Why would you want to do that? I'm not really sure, but some of you need to pack a lot of stuff for no good reason at all. So if you have to do that and you can't wear it on your back, then I guess you're gonna have to do that, which is fine by me. Listen, I'm not here to judge. I'm just telling you that you can use any luggage type you want, with a heavy preference on backpacks. Safety level, okay, this is a good segue right into the safety level. Let me give you a little disclaimer. I'm a 6'2" Canadian man that's a little bit wiry and jumpy and I move around a lot. So I'm not really the ideal target for theft. So I generally feel safe anywhere I go. But I do have Olivia here with me, who is much shorter than me, and she's a female, and she also feels safe. I will say I've not seen any real shady characters. Nobody's been eyeing up my camera. Like, I am walking around like a dumbass YouTuber with a very expensive camera, and nobody has tried to take it. No one's tried to pickpocket me. No one's tried to shortchange me. They always give me the correct amount of change at the stores. It feels extremely safe, even at nighttime, everywhere we go. And we've gone to some pretty remote areas. Obviously, just exercise caution, you know, like you would anywhere you go. Don't look like somebody who can't give chase. If you're walking around wearing all your jewelry and high heels, like, don't be doing that. Don't look like a damsel in distress. You'll be completely fine. Side note, something I forgot to tell you when I was filming that video is when you're walking around in the tourist areas, there's going to be a ton of guys that come up to you and offer you drugs. And you can do whatever you want, but I can guarantee you whatever you get in that bag is probably not cocaine. It's probably not good cocaine, even if it is. I don't know. I wouldn't do it, but you do you. I would exercise a little extra caution. I mean, look at the geography of where the country is. Like, do you really think they're getting good cocaine? Seems like more of a heroin type of place, but I'm not encouraging you or discouraging you from doing anything. They don't bother you. They're not hassling you at all. They just offer it and then they move on. Speaking of safety, the emergency number is 112, okay? 112. Remember that, internalize it. 112 is the emergency number. If you just have medical questions in any language, you can dial 808-242424. For Android users, upgrade your software because in the new Android 15, they have theft protection. If somebody snatches my phone, it'll lock the phone immediately. There's also the ability to press the power button 5 times and it'll start recording from both cameras. It'll call the police, send those videos to your family, and all sorts of stuff. It'll lock your phone. So use the technology that you have on you. Use Apple AirTags if you're worried about getting your stuff stolen. Generally speaking though, it is a very safe country. Just remember, 112, that's the emergency number, not 911, okay? God, I hate these videos. Seriously, we have way better videos than this. Okay, getting around, easy. They've got Ubers, they've got Bolt, they got taxis, they got public transit, and we've mostly been walking. It's been a lot of work to walk because, again, it's all cobblestones and there's a fuckload of hills, but it's totally fine. The only thing I wouldn't say is don't take the taxi because they try to rip you off even from the airport. I mean, that's like blanket advice from all over the place. Any country you go to, taxis are shitty. They're gonna rip you off, and that's how it goes. So use Bolt, use Uber, or use public transit, or just walk. Just walk. If you're able to and you have the means to do it, walk. Wear comfortable shoes. Don't bother bringing fancy shoes. You're gonna hate it. Bring comfortable shoes. We have running shoes on. They've honestly saved us a lot. When it rains, it gets a little bit slippery because those cobblestones have been polished over hundreds of years of people walking on them. So be careful for that. Also, side note, something I forgot to mention when I was recording that video, you have to watch out for all the dog shit. There seems to be an inordinate amount of dog poop on the ground, and most of the dog poop has footprints in it. So just when you're walking around, make sure you look at the ground. Don't step in the dog shit. If you plan to drive here, I highly recommend it. That's what we did. We rented a little Fiat 500. It was a manual transmission, and it was hilarious and awesome. They drive on the right-hand side of the road here, just like in most countries, I think. If you're gonna drive here, definitely bring a little phone holder for the car, because that was a gigantic pain in the ass, is trying to figure out directions, drive standard, understand the street signs, and hold my phone on my lap. while watching Google Maps. That was really extremely annoying. If you're gonna drive, bring a phone holder, attach it to the car, and you'll be all set. Driving at night is difficult if you're outside the city because there's no street lights. So make sure that you get a car that has really good headlights. Ours had shitty headlights and it was extremely difficult. And the locals here, they will drive fast. They know the streets. So even when it's pitch black, they're willing to go 120 kilometers an hour, but I can't even see more than like one car length in front of my little Fiat. So it was extremely difficult, but it was really fun. I super highly recommend it. At certain times of day though, they will close streets for walking only. There's these like little things that come out of the ground and they block the street from cars, and all the restaurants put out their patio furniture, and it's just for walking only, which is really cool if you're walking around looking for a restaurant, and really troublesome if you're driving. So just be aware of that. Try to avoid driving in the city in the evening during dinner times. All right, internet and connectivity and telecommunications. We used an eSIM. We preferred Airalo. They're not sponsored, but I will put a link in the description for you to check that out. It ended up costing us, I think in total, like 20 bucks for the entire trip, and that's for data only. And you can use that. It's pretty easy. Your phone needs to be compatible with eSIM, or you can just buy a SIM card in the airport when you first get here. The hotel Wi-Fi generally works pretty good. I don't know if it's digital nomad level good. It'd be tough to upload a video, for example, but it works plenty well enough. Let's see, the art. The art here is plentiful. There's tons of it. There's street art, there's graffiti art, there's sculptures, there's tiles, there's photo music. Any art that you can think of is alive and very well here in Portugal. I highly encourage you to go and check it out. We have a whole video about art on our channel, and you should watch that. Should we move so that we're not beside a trash? All right, I moved again, just for you. Okay, let's talk about camera acceptance, as in how willing are people to be in photos and videos here. It is becoming a very popular tourist country, so a lot of shop owners are getting fatigued by the amount of photos and videos being taken. So a lot of them will ask you to please not take a photo or video of them or their shop, which is completely fine. In most cases though, I am walking around with a camera and it's been completely fine. Just be a little bit respectful with your camera. Don't ruin it for everybody. Okay, the value of attractions. As in, is it worth going to the tourist destinations? I would say yes, mostly. A lot of them are extremely historical, very beautiful. There's a lot of, Manuelan architecture here. There's a lot to see. A lot of it is very rooted in history, rooted in art, and religion and stuff like that. So it's very cool to check out. I would say the value of attractions is very high. Most of them are free anyway, so that's instantly a good value. And the ones that do charge, it's like, I don't know, 5 to 10 euros. And I would say it's well worth it. So just go to do whatever it is you want. Tourism level, we kind of covered this a little bit earlier as far as what time of year to travel. Right now in late November, it's quite low. I can't imagine coming here and enjoying myself if there was any more tourism than there is now. I think in the summertime it will drive you nuts, the amount of tourists that are here. So it's quite high. In fact, it's massive and gigantic. Truly, it's a testament to the patience of the Portuguese people that they put up with that shit, because I don't think I could. Plugs and adapters, as far as charging things into the wall, it is the F-type or the Shuko style plug, the worst one maybe that there is. It's the one that looks like a little owl peeking at you from inside a hole in the wall. That's the one that they use here. You'll have to bring a travel adapter if you're from North America. Most of your devices will be completely fine. You have to realize it is a lot more electricity than you get back home, which is fine for 99% of your devices, like charging your phone. They're made for that, so you can plug them in no problem if you have the adapter, and it'll work. But Olivia plugged in a hair dryer and that puppy was singing. It was like a soldering iron. It got super hot. So just be aware of things like that. Let's talk about accessibility as far as people getting around that are maybe mobility impaired or mobility different. Maybe you've broken your leg. Just realize that there is a lot of hills here and a lot of cobblestones. Most places have been made so that you can get to places in a wheelchair. You will be quite limited as far as like the back alleys and stuff that you can visit, and just realize that there's a lot of hills and it gets slippery when it's wet. So just be careful with that. There's also a lot of stairs, although there is also a lot of elevators and gondolas and little cars and public transit for you to get around, and they do genuinely do their best to make sure that most people can get around. Clothing, wear anything you want, doesn't matter. Yeah, you don't have to cover anything that you don't want to cover. You just wear whatever you want. Dress for the time of year. For this time of year, I brought a couple long sleeves, a couple pairs of pants, a couple t-shirts, and a jacket and a sweater, and that was totally fine for the 10 days that we're here. I haven't been that cold, I haven't been that hot, so it's perfect. We're almost done here. Good books to read while you're here. A Small Death in Lisbon by Robert Wilson. It's a thriller from the 1940s. It explores the themes of espionage and identity and the dark side of human nature. You can check that one out. Another book, I haven't read it myself, but I am curious about it. The Book of Disquiet by Fernando Pessoa. It's a collection of fragmented thoughts and observations that offer an insight into Portugal's greatest poetic minds. Did you know that Macau used to be Portuguese, and so did Goa and Angola? You know, wait, hang on a sec. No, that's for a different video. We can't be giving you information like that. That's way too interesting. Anyway, if you're interested in more stories, you can check out the other videos on the channel. There's also a podcast. You can find a link for that all in the description. Now get the hell out of here because I got better videos to make than this one, frankly. And I hope you're doing well over there, wherever you are, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers, folks.